Alright, Shalom, Shalom. This is your brother Issachar coming back at you with another lesson. First and foremost, I'd like to give all praises, all honor and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Mukakwadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders, a great millstone. Peace and blessings to the hopeful elect and the 144,000 scattered across the four corners of the earth. Shalom to you. Alright, today's lesson we're gonna go into these I.C.B.Ms. We're gonna go into another lesson to that, just to get more scriptures, just to get all that get all those precepts regarding the I.C.B.Ms, the supersonic missiles, the ballistic missiles that are prophecy. So without further ado, let's get it. Isaiah chapter 54 and verse Isaiah chapter 54 verse 16. Behold, I have created a smith that bloweth the coals in the fire. Alright, so the smith is talking about the scientist. Okay, so the Lord's saying, I created the scientist. So right here, alright, you know what, let me just read this whole scripture and then we'll break it down. Behold, I have created the smith that bloweth the coals in the fire, and that bring forth an instrument for his work. And I have created the waster to destroy. Alright, so right here, let's break this down. Verse 16, Isaiah 54 and 16. Behold, I have created the smith. So right there, that I is talking about the Lord. Alright, so the Lord saying, I created the smith. So real fast, real quick, right after World War II, okay, the Temanites, which are the German scientists, they're the smartest out of the Edomites. Okay, half of them went to the U.S. and the other half went to Russia. But the Russia had first dibs, because Germany's right there next door, So that's why Russia had, got like first dibs. They got the best of the best. That's why Russia's nuclear arsenal is a little better than, it's better than America. America has good, I.C.B.Ms too. But, Russia's ahead of them. So, but why is that? Why are Russia and America the tops? Because they had the, after World War II, they grabbed the top, smartest German scientists after World War II. And the reason why Russia, has more, well, number one, because it's prophecy. But number two is because Germany was right there, right next door. So, Russia got first dibs, so to speak, They grabbed the smartest of the smartest. You know how it is. They grabbed the top, Behold, I have created the smith that bloweth the coals in the fire. So right here, this is another breakdown, okay? This is another, a token, if you will, that lets us know that the Lord is the one who programmed, who gave the message to the angels, and the angels gave those German scientists the inspiration to start building those I.C.B.Ms. All right, that bringeth forth the instrument. So here we go. Check it out. And that bring forth an instrument for his work. See? So what did they make? They made an instrument. For what though? For destruction. But for whose work? For the elites? For the Illuminati? For the Freemasons? For Albert Pike? No. For his work. Alright, so whose? The Lord. Yahweh Shai. So the Lord, okay, programmed and put the inspiration and these scientists for what? So they can create the I.C.B.Ms. But for what? Keep going, but why? Okay, because it's part of prophecy. Because the I.C.B.Ms are the second death. See? All right. So yeah, that's pretty straightforward. Okay, because it's for His work. You know, and so this is another indicator to let you know that these militaries and leaders around the world, that those I.C.B.Ms are not theirs. The book of Joel, chapter 2, all right, that, from the first chapter all the way down, I believe it's like 12 verse, but it lets you know that, these are the Lord's missiles, all right? So that's some more scriptures there in the I.C.B.Ms. All right, so right there. So this is just showing the sheep out there, okay, the hopeful elect. Because that's what we're doing at the end of the day. We're just feeding the sheep, laboring, to give, those who are worthy, just to give you the truth, of what's going on and why it's happening, and to show you who's controlling it, why the Lord's bringing it, what's happening around the world, why these things are happening the way they are. Not just, oh yeah, the so-called white man's evil and this and that, and this guy is better. And no, it's just, we're gonna show you. All right, that way it brings a heavier understanding. With all thy knowledge, with all thy knowledge, you have to get understanding. Okay, if you don't understand what's going on, then it's no good. Okay, you can memorize precepts. Okay, you can read the whole Bible, but if you don't understand it, okay, then it's no bueno. Okay, it's no bueno. It's no bueno. This is what you gotta understand. Okay, so if you don't understand the Bible, it's no good. It's no good. It's no good. See? Why? Because you don't understand what's going on. Yeah, you may memorize a lot of precepts and say, oh yeah, I've read it. But if you're still calling on Jesus Christ, you still believe in the rapture, you don't even know what the MOTB is, because if you don't know what to look out for, then it's no good, see? That's why like in war, for instance, okay, in war, the biggest thing is like intel, information. No, okay, what does the enemy have? Okay, they have tanks. That's why this communication is very important. Okay, intel and communication in war. This is just to kind of give you guys, a little example. All right, because in war, if you know what the enemy, okay, hey, the enemy's coming with tanks. Yeah, he may overpower you, but at least you have a shot because okay, hey, what, he's coming with tanks. Shit, they have about 5,000 groundmen over here from the south. Okay, over there to the north. They got a few jets right there parked. So okay, all right. So you can strategize. You can prepare. Like, okay, well, hey, I might not make it. I might not win, but at least you got a chance to fight because you're prepared. Okay, the enemy has this. Okay, he's coming at me with this. That way you can at least, gird yourself up, prepare yourself, to fight back. So that's what the Lord is. That's why He sent His prophets, okay, to warn. That way you can prepare yourselves. Okay, this is why it's happening. It's not so much. That's why the apostles and elders said, if people can't get it, just move on. It's not just like to tell people, oh, okay, that person's a dumbass, fuck them. Not like that, okay? It's just, but why are they saying that? Okay, but why? Because if you're going back and forth with somebody who's not being sincere, then it goes nowhere. It just becomes a like a screaming match, And then it's all just like, oh, he told him, but all right, but people are not even getting fed, because they're just laughing, being entertained. But yeah, this is no laughing matter. People's lives are about to be destroyed. Yeah, people are literally gonna be slaughtered out here. So that's a very serious thing, because yeah, when you're if someone's like asking you a sincere question and then they may kind of disagree a little bit, but they're at least being reasonable. then yeah, you can talk to them. Like, all right, because this person's at least asking, being sincere. They may not fully agree, but at least they're trying to, they're giving you like a reasonable, at least argument. At least they're telling you like a legit question. They're trying to reason. But that is all right because at least they're trying to reason. So it's different, huh? Okay. So this is why, the apostles and elders on down say that, okay? Because if they can't get it and they're just like being, they're just being, a knucklehead, they're just being silly, they're just being stupid, then yeah, it's like, hey, it ain't gonna go nowhere. It's gonna get heated up. Then it's just gonna become like a screaming match. Like, no, this is like, you know what? Then it don't really go nowhere. Then you gotta remember, the sheep are listening. They wanna, they're trying to learn. Trying to get fed. And imagine like if you go to feed your sheep, and then someone comes and argues with you, and you're just talking to him, and then you forget, oh shit, man, I had my food right here, but I forgot to feed my sheep, because you're over here arguing with that person just because someone, asked you a few questions. That's how it is. Because you imagine like you have a farm, okay, and this will be the last explanation because I don't want to go too far off topic. All right, like let's say you have a farm, you know what I'm saying, and you're like, all right, you're gonna feed your sheep, right? All right, and then someone right before you feed them, someone comes up to you and starts arguing with you and asks you some questions. You're like, oh, ask you some questions about this, that, whatever. Oh, hey, can I get that tractor? Hey, man, why not? And you guys, oh, because of this and oh, because of that. All right, then you start getting a heated debate with these with this individual, and then at the end of it, you get so you get frustrated, then towards the end of the day, you're like, hey, shit, man, towards the end of that argument, you're like, damn, you go back to your house, get something to eat, but then you're like, damn, I forgot to feed my sheep. See? Because that's how it is. The sheep's right there waiting to be fed, and you're over here arguing with this person. See? So the sheep want to know, like, hey, man, what's going on out there? But that's how it is. Yeah, so it's just like that, if someone were to like ask the farmer, and he was about to feed his sheep and say, oh, you know what? Hey, I want to buy your tractor, and then the person goes, like the farmer goes, oh no, I'm not gonna, it's not for sale. And then they start getting into a heated argument, like, oh well, why not, this and that, And then at the end of the argument, he's like, hey, it's just not for sale, and the guy's just trying to buy it, like, no, just like, come on, man, like busting his chops. And then the farmer, the owner of the tractor's like, nah, man, like it's not, then he gets so heated that he forgets that, he just says, oh, I'm just gonna go inside his house, and then, at the end of the day, it's like, yo, the sheep didn't get fed. So that's the same thing to how it is out there, because it is important to rebuke. When someone comes up, yeah, you rebuke them because we're defenders of the gospel. But, if you're just going to go into a back and forth, this argument, where it's just nonstop and, it's just debating, it don't really go nowhere because, sometimes you got to do a little for edification. But this is the main reason why, just letting you know, this is why, starting with the apostles on down, elders on down of GMS, tell you this, because it's not so much as like, oh, it's, just get this shithead, but it's because it don't go nowhere, okay? Because you're not feeding the sheep, all right? Because if this person just, you can't even dialogue with that person, they're not even being reasonable, then it's just a waste of time, So that's exactly how it is. Because remember, It's like that, you know, your sheep wants to get fed, and you're over here arguing with this person that, you know, you already told no, and they're still saying, why not, why not? And it's like, hey, you know, and then your sheep didn't even get fed because you're over here arguing with that person that wants to buy your tractor. You see? So that's how it is, you know? But yes, and there's always times where you do gotta edify, rebuke, of course. But this is the main reason why, because this is why I give you that example, because it don't go nowhere. Because it's like, oh well, you know, it doesn't go nowhere. You see? All right. So this is something that you know is, you know, just to get the meaning behind it. You see? All right. So let's get that again from the top. Bear with me. Let's see. Isaiah chapter 54 and verse 16. Behold, I have created the smith that bloweth the coals in the fire. So the Lord created the scientists, and that bring forth an instrument for his work. Because it's an instrument created for destruction, but for whose work? Yahweh Shai, because it's his will, his program. He is in control. You following? Alright? Getting it? And I have created the waster to destroy. The waster is talking about the actual missile. Okay, the I.C.B.M. The intercontinental ballistic missile. See? Alright, so now let's go to Isaiah. Isaiah chapter 13, and you know, I'm just gonna go right to the point. Let me see. I should get this. Let me see here. Bear with me. Alright, so you know, I'm gonna start right here at the here. Yeah. Alright, you know what, I'm just gonna start at the verse 1. There's a lot of meat here. Yeah, it's gonna get it. Isaiah chapter 13 verse 1. And then you know, I may you know, skip a few verses just to kind of get like the main points. But yeah, there's a whole lot here. So let's just get it, you know, get all the meat off that bone. Isaiah chapter 13 verse 1. The burden of Babylon. Okay, America, which Isaiah the son of Amos did see. Okay, so burden, you know, it's You know, it doesn't say a good time. You know, burden's something that's heavy. You know, so because we're entering evils, which is bad times. Lift ye up a banner upon the high mountains. That's what we're lifting. Okay, the teachers of Yahweh Shemel Shai are giving you the warning. What's the banner? This word. Exalt the voice unto them. Shake the hand that they may go into the gates of the nobles. Right. So right there means because the Lord wants us to get on our enemies' nerves. Okay? Yeah. You know, exalt the voice unto them. So, you know, tell them what it is. Tell them that they're gonna go into slavery. That Yahweh's gonna send his son Yahushai. You know? Yeah. Oh yeah. Alright. Right here, let me see. Shake the hand that they may go into the gates of the nobles. Right. Okay, so right here is shake the hand. That means you know, tell them what it is. You know, like don't hold back nothing. Tell them that they're gonna go into slavery. You know, tell them what it is. You know, that way they can go complain to their bosses. Check it out. That they may go into the gates of the nobles. Who's the nobles? The leaders. So the Lord's saying, when you're out there prophesying, lay it down. Okay, lay it down. You know, when there's a so-called white man, you know, and he's a true Edomite, don't hold back. Don't be like, oh well, oh shit, I'm not gonna say nothing. No, you tell him what it is. That way he can go tell his boss. They can go tell the elites. So the Lord wants these elites to get mad. He wants them to make a move. Remember that. Okay, remember that the Lord's coming back to wage war on all these militaries and elites across the world. So he wants them to make a move. Okay, remember that. All right. Yeah. You know, what did the Lord do to Pharaoh? The Lord killed all their firstborn. He took all their food, plagued them, just so Pharaoh can finally attack us. And what happened when he tried to attack us? All right, the Lord crushed all of them. Not one person in Pharaoh or his military survived, or his army. See? So that's what the Lord wants to do to our enemies. He wants them to make a move. Remember that, okay? So when these elites move on the 2/3, yeah, that's for their destruction. But once these elites move on the elect, okay, the Lord's gonna step in and get them. See? Verse 3, I have commanded my sanctified ones. So the Lord commanded the prophets to do so. The prophets are not out there just doing their own will. No, the Lord commanded the prophets, hey, you go over there and you tell them. All right? And I have called my mighty ones for my anger. See? So the mighty ones, because the men of the Lord are the only ones telling these elites, hey, you're going to slavery. The prophets are the only ones not compromising. See, look at everybody else. These celebrities, TD Jakes, all right, IOIC, not even using the name of the Lord. See how these dudes they're all fruitcakes, okay? Because you know they may start off strong, but as soon as the so-called white man comes or intervenes or gives them a little bit of money, they bow down. You know. Because they're a bunch of cowards. See, but the prophets are going to lay it down no matter what it is. No matter if they have agents out here building up cases. Okay, the men of the Lord are going to go all the way. Okay, they don't give a damn. They're going to go all the way. They're going to go all the way and laugh at our enemies. While our enemies get mad, the prophets are just going to laugh in their face. You know? Facts. Because the prophets won't, the true man of the Lord won't compromise. You know? And plus, the prophets know the Lord, and remember, the left-hand side, yeah, they got power, but they're not stronger than the right-hand side. So the prophets, remember, they have the highest knowledge. They have the highest knowledge on the planet Earth, so they're not going to be afraid by the left-hand side. It don't matter what they come with, you know. Yeah, you know. Even them that rejoice in my highness. Right. Here we go. Okay, so verse 4, the noise of a multitude in the mountains, like as of a great people. Right. Okay, so the noise, the noise of a multitude in the mountains, like as of a great people, a, to, a tumultuous, a tumultuous noise of the kingdoms of the nations gathered together. All right, so yeah, the Lord's preparing these nations for World War III, just for the Lord can, cause remember, Yahweh Shai is gonna come in the middle of World War III, okay, and is gonna fight everyone at the same time. The Lord Yahweh Bashim Yahushai, the Lord of hosts, mustereth the host of the battle. So, because the Lord controls what's going on, okay? He's the one moving Donald Trump. He's the one moving the elites. Verse 5, they come from a far country. This is talking about the I.C.B.Ms. From the end of heaven, even the Lord, Yahweh Bashim Yahushai, and the weapons of his indignation to destroy the whole land. So the weapons of his indignation, that is the Lord's, okay, of his indignations, because the weapons, the I.C.B.Ms are the Lord's. There's another clear token right there that these militaries, that those I.C.B.Ms, they're not theirs. Those are the Lord's. This is why militaries and armies around the world, okay, around their nuclear bases, they'll constantly see so-called UFOs out there, so-called UAPs, the chariots of Israel, because the angels are making sure that you guys are building the missiles. See, because these nations and leaders around the world, yeah, they may not like the Lord, but Yahweh, okay, yeah, they may mock and scoff, but Yahweh is their boss. Okay, they don't even know who they work for. So why do you think the angels are always there? Because they're making sure that that you retarded heathens and Edomites are doing your job, that you're building the Lord's missiles. All right, so the Lord's gonna having you guys build these missiles just so the Lord can say, all right, thank you, and then just turn around and destroy you. Yep, that's right. Okay, because you're mocking the Lord, so the Lord is having you create your own device that's gonna kill you. Okay, because remember, the Lord's not mocked. Okay, remember, two can play that game. So at the same time, these heathens and Edomites are scoffing at the Lord. The Lord's like, all right, I'm going to make them create an I.C.B.M, put it in their mind to let them think that they have the power, let them think that they control the I.C.B.Ms, and then I'm going to have these nations wipe out each other. You know, they want to talk about the Lord, they want to talk about me? Hell no. See? You know? So these nations and Edomites, you know, the Lord is building them up just so they can destroy themselves, just so the Lord can press the button and turn around and kill them. See that? Imagine that. You know? Yeah, it's like someone's about to take somebody out, and he has like a blacksmith, you know, create a knife, you know, just for that person can say, all right, thank you, and then just take you out with it. You know? He's having our enemies create their own instrument for their own slaughter. Imagine. Remember, the Lord's not mocked. You know, these nations can mock all they. I mean, they can talk crap all they want. But remember, you know, the Lord's just the Lord's long suffering. So he just, you know, the Lord's just like looking at him with a smile, like, all right, you guys think you're slick, you guys think you're smart, no problem. You know. Yeah, that's exactly what's happening right now. Yep, because all these nations, they think, oh yeah, we got the power, and you know, we got nah. You know, you guys don't run nothing. You know, you guys only do what the Lord tells you to do. Facts. See? Yeah. You know, remember the Lord's you know, the Lord has all of our enemies in a big trick bag. Remember that. Verse 5, they come from a far country, from the end of heaven, even the Lord, Yahweh Bashim Al-Shai, the weapons, okay, of his indignation. Indignation means righteous anger, so they're his weapons to do what? To destroy the whole land. Because, yeah, the I.C.B.Ms, once they hit, it's the whole land. Because the whole America and all Israel is going to be completely eviscerated. All of it, all of it. See? And it don't matter how much these militaries and teams try to scramble, like, hey, we got to stop this. Go for it, you know? And remember, we're laughing at you. You know, we don't give a damn how much you threaten the believers, you know? Yep, because it don't matter how much our enemies team up, it don't matter how much they scramble, they're about to die. You know, they may not like it, yeah, so what? You know, they may come for us, so what? But the Lord is going to protect his elect, you know. But our enemies, 100%, they're about to die and they're going to slavery. So that's why we know this, you know? Yeah. So you just have to stay firm and know what this word is, you know? Because remember, now is the Israelites' turn. Okay, now it's our turn. Because the heathens, the Edomites, they already had their turn. So now who's next? You know, the tables are turning. You see, we're in a transition of a transition era of rulership, where it's gonna go from the kingdom of the Edomites to the kingdom of the Israelites. Yeah, yeah. The whole earth is going to go under new management. Verse 6. Okay. Okay. So this is Isaiah chapter 13, verse 6. How ye for the day of the Lord, Yahweh by Shemal Shai is at hand. It shall come as a destruction from the Almighty. See, because the Lord is preparing a great slaughter, judgment, but also salvation. But also the Lord is going to bring destruction. So that is another cut to the wacky tacky Christian out there that, yeah, the God's not all love. You know? Verse 7, therefore shall all hands be faint, and every man's heart shall melt. Right. Therefore shall all hands be faint, and every man's heart shall melt. Right. Like their minds, you know? Because people are figuring out, like, yep, like this is it, you know? See? You see what's happening with America? You know? You can see this, you know, you gotta be totally delusional. You gotta be in complete la-la land to be like, oh yeah, everything's gonna be okay. No, it's not. You know, when you really count the cost, you know, and add the numbers up and see what's going on, you'll see that this place is crumbling, you know, right before our very eyes. You know? Yeah. See that? So people's heart, their minds shall melt because people are like, yeah, shit, you know? Because they can see it happening, you know? Because people that, but just your normal common sense, you know, you don't got to be have a college education and be, you know, a wise person. Just somebody with your typical common sense will know that, hey, World War III, you know, Russia going against the U.S., China, you know, NATO and all that. That's it. That's the end of civilization. You know, because people know, hey, man, once they actually, you know, start going at it, you imagine? Because they have so many weapons that will just destroy the whole land. You know? Because people know, you know? Because, like, shit, you know, once it's, like, you know, once, you know, like the soul, you know, that saying, you know, once shit hits the fan, once it, you know, it really gets going, you know, once we're really, like, in the thick of it, people know, like, damn, like, shit, you know, it really is gonna be, there's not gonna be nothing left, you know, in certain areas. Okay, remember, not the whole world, but certain areas, you know, like this place, you know, because look at all these superpowers, China, North Korea, the U.S., NATO, look at all these weapons, you know, everyone's just gonna totally annihilate each other. And then you got the Lord coming with the angels, with the spaceships. You're telling me this place is not finished? Oh, it's done. It's finished with a capital F. All the way. Oh, make no mistake. You kidding me or what? Huh? Verse 8. And they shall be afraid. Yeah. You know, because our enemies are afraid. There it is right there. Okay. There's another proof, you know, because, you know, our enemies try to act tough. Like, oh, yeah, you know, but they're afraid at the end of the day. Because they're going to slavery, you know? You kidding me? They're about to lose everything that they have. Everything that they love, they're about to lose. Imagine? So you don't think they're tripping? They're tripping. You know? Believe that. You know, they can put on a front and try to act all they want. But they are pissed. You know, they're afraid and they're mad too, you know? Imagine someone coming and telling you, all right, you know, telling you every day that, all right, you know, that you're about to get your ass kicked and you're going to slavery. You know? Imagine someone, so the prophets are telling the elites every day, you're going down, baby. So imagine, shit, you don't think these words are getting to their heads? Oh, shit, yeah, you know? But that's all right, but remember, Esau, and to those of you on the left-hand side, it's whenever you're ready. No pressure, when, these words make you feel a certain type of way, hey, don't complain, just make your move. Remember, your beatdown's already prepared. You just gotta come get served. Remember that. Remember that. Your beatdown, it's already prepared. It's already prepared. You just gotta come get. You just gotta come get it. No pressure. It's whenever you're ready. Yeah, no pressure. Remember, it's on you. Esau, the whole world, eyes is on you. That's right. And they shall be afraid. Pangs and sorrow shall take hold of them. They shall be in pain as a woman that travaileth. All right. They shall be amazed one at another. Their faces shall be as flames. Right. Because once the world hears, okay, this is not a drill. Okay, that I.C.B.Ms are headed over here, seek shelter immediately. People are like, that's it. What are you going to do? You're going to run and, your instinct may be like, okay, well, let's run over here or run over there. But where are you going to go? Remember, the Lord's bringing great judgment. What do you think would happen in the time of Noah? It's just to show you that the scoffers, all right, it's not just to be like, oh man, this guy's a prick, this guy's a dick. No, it's just that we're giving you the truth. And those of you that are in complete, that are in complete, loser denial. I mean, you guys that don't want to see it and be like, oh, come on, I mean, hey, because it's right there. Look what happened in the time of Noah. The Noah told him for 120 years, hey, it's gonna rain, and people say, oh, he's crazy. The people did the same thing to Noah that they're doing to the prophets right now, scoffing at them, telling that they're crazy, they're losers, they're bums, people of insignificant, that we're the dumbest people on the planet. See? But remember, those missiles are coming. So people can talk crap all day. What happened to all those scoffers that were talking crap? They all died. See? So remember, the spaceships are coming, but Yahushai, and so are the missiles. So remember, let people talk shit. Don't worry. Remember, nobody's leaving this planet. Okay, remember, Yahushai and the angels have the whole planet Earth surrounded. And these heathens are over here talking shit like, oh yeah, like what are you gonna do? Where are you gonna go? You ain't going nowhere. Let them get mad. Let them hit the wall. Let them throw the coffee cup across the office room. Let them, let them smack their desk. They ain't going nowhere. That's right, Esau, you red lobster. You ain't going nowhere. You can get as mad as you want. You will get your ass kicked. Real soon. Real soon, real soon. Facts. And those are facts, baby. No one's going anywhere. No one's going anywhere. Remember that. You guys got to hold on to this word and know what it is. Stop playing around. Because remember, our enemies, although, we'll tell him stuff like that, he's really going to come down, on the tribes. But the elect are going to be covered. Those of you that are not covered, well, look what's happening in Chicago. Look what's happening to those ICE agents. How they were just throwing people off those planes while being shackled up. Okay? And yet, oh, the so-called white man's your buddy. He ain't that bad. Come on. Well, hey, it's on you now. Because the Lord told you by his prophets. But by you guys not taking heed, well, I mean, there's not much we can say, hey, some people say that, we're a hate group. Hey, we speak truth, I mean, shit, that's real love, because people are actually telling you, warning you, this message can actually save your life. But those of you that are just saying, oh, it's hate, hate group or whatever, hey, you can label it however you want. It don't make a difference. Those missiles and Yahushua and the angels are coming. See, it don't matter what you label it as, the Lord's word is going to be manifest. See? Verse 9. Behold, the day of the Lord, Yahweh Bashim Al-Shai cometh. Cruel. Check this out. Alright? Alright, man, this right here, Isaiah chapter 13, verse 9, this is a total cut to those Christians out there that say God's all love. Just look at what's being said right here by Isaiah. Behold, the day of the Lord cometh. So he's coming with what? Coffee, presents. Check it out. Cruel. Huh? Both with wrath and fierce anger. You let me know when you guys hear that he's all love, okay? You guys just tell me just tell me to stop. Cruel, both with wrath and fierce anger, to lay the land desolate, and he shall destroy the sinners thereof out of it. So where in there, is it, God loves everybody? I mean, because I'm just baffled. I'm just curious. I just want to know, where are these Christians getting their information from? Because it's not biblical. It's not scriptural. It's not coming from the scriptures. So where are these people getting all these, saying all this stuff? From where? See? To show you that these churches and religions, that they are under a 501c3 charter, because they're not telling you the truth. They're doing what they feel is right, because they feel like, okay, well, slavery was a long time ago, because they're only talking amongst themselves what they feel in their mind. Okay, not even putting them down. It's just making a correction to say, okay, that their information that they're coming up with, what these churches in their communities, is literally coming from their own feelings, because they feel, okay, you know what, well, it's been a long time ago, the so-called white man, hey, just let it be. That's just what you're saying, but that's not what the Lord is gonna do, and not what the Lord says. See? And if that's what these communities and people want to think, that's totally fine, because that's totally on them. But we're just establishing facts here to let you know that people are just coming up with this information, with their information, just out of their own minds, just because they feel, well, oh, you know what, it's been long enough. Says who? Well, oh, you know what, let's just let bygones be bygones. Okay, says the community. Okay, I understand that. But the Lord's not saying that, and the Lord's not thinking that at all, not even close. So it just goes to show you that these churches, people, the community and the community neighborhoods, they get together and stuff like that. But you're not getting properly fed. You're not being warned there correctly. You see? All right, yeah, you may have people who are good parents, stuff like that, but you're not getting the truth there. The Lord is not in there. See, so remember, it's always a reason. It's not just like, oh, the fucking Christians are stupid and fuck these Catholics and nah, like, hey man, no, it's just to show you that where they're coming up with their information is literally out of their behind. They're doing what they feel is right, but that's completely on them, because they're not going to change, and that's completely fine. That's why the Lord said, if they're filthy, let them be filthy still. So whatever these people want to continue to do, that's why we're not just, going around giving people a hard time, because I still, I talk about Christians and Catholics, not about the scriptures, but I just, when you're around people in the world, yeah, I mean, you just, we're not just like, oh, no, this is a Catholic, a Christian, I'm not even going to get close to them, fuck that. Nah, we ain't tripping, because their unbelief is not going to change anything. And it's not going to destroy my faith either, So if they don't want to believe in the Lord, if they want to do their own thing, that's cool. You guys out there, Akim and Aqua, shouldn't even let that bother you, Because, why should it? Because if the Lord's with you, okay, remember, if you're around a Jehovah's Witness, whatever, like, let's say in the world, like, if you're just walking around, like, the mall or at a park, whatever, hey, you see some people like that, hey, don't be so much like, hey, I'm not even going to be around them. If they're scoffing and talking crap, then yeah, stay away. But if they're just like, and, people in the world, then yeah, you just remember, because we use it, but we don't abuse it. But you don't just, you don't want to just carry yourself and just be like, oh, I'm just mad at everybody, fuck everybody, I'm not getting close to nobody. No, you don't want to carry yourself like that, All right? Remember that. Because remember, the fact that people uh, still want to be in these Catholic church and Christians, that's on them, you know. And remember, it just means that they're not part of the hopeful elect, you know. So you don't got to be walking around all like, you know, like, nah, just chill, you know what I'm saying? Just chill and know that because their unbelief is not going to change anything. So therefore, why even you know, why even pay them, you know, why even pay them attention, you know? Because we use the world, but we don't abuse it. See? Verse 10, for the stars of heaven and the constellations thereof shall not give their light. The sun shall be darkened in his going forth, and the moon shall not cause her light to shine. Because the stars and the moon and the sun, you know, you can see it right now, but there's going to be so much smoke coming from the I.C.B.Ms. Remember 9/11? When those couple buildings went down, how much smoke there was? Okay, that's just a couple buildings. Imagine all America on fire. You're not gonna be able, Salakia. You're not gonna be able to look in the sky and see the stars, the sun, the moon, because there's gonna be so much smoke. Can you imagine? Remember, like the California wildfires. Okay, when you know when it first happened, the sky was all dark and all that, and that was just from a few brush fires. Imagine I.C.B.Ms going off. Okay, you're not gonna be. It doesn't mean that the Lord's gonna shut off the lights and the stars, the moon, the sun. It just means that because there's gonna be so much smoke, you know, it and these cities from the I.C.B.Ms going off that you're not gonna be able to see it. It's gonna be very dark, very dark, very dark. Imagine, huh? We're not talking about just California. We're not talking about just Mississippi. You know, nah, the whole United States. Imagine how much fire and smoke, huh? And it's not like your typical brush fire. No, this is nuclear fire. Imagine. Verse 11, and I will punish the world for their evil. So it's not just America, it's the whole world. See? So no one's going anywhere. Nobody's leaving this planet. I will punish the world. That's Isaiah 13:11. Who? The Lord. Meaning the planet. So whoever's messing up on this planet, you know, that's it. And the wicked for their iniquity. The wicked, right? Their sins. Iniquity means sins. And I will cause the arrogancy of the proud to cease. Right, because the proud are going to stop. Okay? Because right now people think, you know, they're saying, like, oh yeah, we're God. You hear Donald Trump the other day? He said he's the chosen one now. You see these clowns, you know? Oh, so what, you're the Messiah now too? You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, you're just, you know, you're everybody now, huh? See how these devils are? It's just the way these Edomites are, because they're proud. They're like, oh yeah, we're just, you know, we're everything. You know, we're God and we're this and we're that. Like, no, you're not. But they just think that because they're in charge. And you tell me these dudes are not retarded? You know? Look at them, you know? You know, cussing out his own generals and just saying fuck everybody, you know? Fuck NATO, fuck the EU. Fuck my own generals. Like, damn, fuck it, you know? Fuck everybody. And you're the Messiah, and you're the chosen one too? You're telling me Donald Trump is not a retard? But he's a perfect man to destroy the United States. That's why the Lord has him in there. Because remember, the Lord's going to bring down America from the inside out. And the cherry on top, fire I.C.B.Ms, and then send his son down here with the angels. You know, and the ships are going to cover the sky, surround the planet. And you're telling me it's not over? Oh, it's over. Imagine. You know? Rejoice, Akim Aqua. Because the Lord's doing all this for the elect. For you guys that believe. It's all, you know? Hey, you know, he's doing it to save his elect. But he's going to put respect on his name. You know, because everyone is, imagine, you know, the Lord's not mocked. So the Lord's going to show the world, all right, you know? You guys don't think I'm nothing? Like, so he's gonna show the world. He's gonna put respect on his name. Like, all right, I'm gonna show you guys who I am. You know? Yeah, you know, I know, you know, it's taking a little while, but hey, trust, it's gonna be, man, it's gonna be over the top. It's gonna be a very dreadful and terrible day. Yep. And will lay low the haughtiness of the terrible. All right. Oh, that 12th verse right there. I will make a man more precious than fine gold, even a man than the golden wedge of Ophir. Yeah, because the Lord is restoring the elect. That's why the elect are going through their trials. Okay, but cause it's all about the man. Okay, right here on this society, they teach you to put the woman on the pedestal. It's bugged out. Okay, yes, our women that are righteous, they're very beautiful. They play a very beautiful role. Okay, it's not like, oh, forget women. No, our women are beautiful and strong. Okay, shout out to the daughters of Zion out there. All right, remember that. Um, hey, there's no disrespect to the righteous women. To the wicked women, yeah, okay, they're going off. They're going the fuck off. But remember, there's righteous women out there. So it's just to let you know that the man is above the woman. All right, and it's not putting down the woman. It's just letting you know that there's an established order. It's just the way it goes. Okay, it's just the way it is. All right. Um, Man is above the woman, and Yahushua is above man. Okay, and Yahweh is above Yahushua. It's just the way it is. It's just order, and it works like that. See? Now look what's going on right now. Okay, look at when everyone says, "Oh, well, I don't think that's right." Okay, well, what do you want to go with? Lesbians, gays, transgenders? Look at this shit. There's not gonna be nothing left if you do all that shit. You know? What are you gonna do? Bring out robots? So there's no more humans then. You see where this is going? They want to put the elites want to put chips in people. Everyone's gays and lesbians. Huh? Transgenders. Men are cutting off their penises. Men want to be men want to be women, and women want to be men. You're telling me this shit's not bugged out? This shit's a fucking freak show. Excuse my Italian. It's too much. You're telling me this, hey, come on. Damn. At this rate, if it keeps going, you can see there's not going to be nothing left. See? It's stupid. Now these women are, remember, so when the prophets rebuke you, it's because, what you're doing. It's not just like, oh, this dude or this woman's just a dumbass. Fuck them. No. Okay? Excuse my Italian. It's that, what you're doing is stupid. Your actions. It's like, yo, like, where you're heading is death, right? You see? Huh? Verse 13. Therefore will I shake the heavens. The whole world is going to be shake. The whole planet's going to shake. Imagine when all these I.C.B.Ms are going off at the same time around the world. The whole planet's going to shake. And the earth shall remove out of her place. Just imagine. And the wrath. See, the Lord's very angry. And the wrath of the Lord, Yahweh, and the day of his fierce anger. So where is it in there that the Lord loves everybody? Just saying, just pointing it out, not even putting the Christians down, just letting you know, okay, well, where is it? Show us, point to it, since you guys know everything, you Christians and Catholics, show us where does it say? Show me, show us, point it out, where? It just goes to show that, because people are doing according to what they feel is right. So it's that's why they're going to be jacked up. I use this example a lot, but it's quick and straight to the point. It's like somebody just got a car and they think that it's let's say it's a diesel motor and they put gas. It's because you're not reading the owner's manual. You didn't ask the previous owner. You didn't even check it out. You just assume that, oh yeah, this is a gas motor. But it's really diesel. Because, like now they have newer cars, but they're actually diesel motors. Okay, verse 14. Isaiah chapter 13, verse 14. And it shall be as the chase roe, all right, and as a sheep that no man taketh up. And they shall every man turn to his own people, and every one into his own land. So right here, This is talking about a chase roll. You know, after those I.C.B.Ms hit, you know, there's something called a mushroom cloud. Okay, there's something called the mushroom cloud. So that's exactly what's you know that's exactly what happens after the the ICBMs are hit. You know, it creates that mushroom cloud. So right here at the end of that verse, it says, "They shall every man turn to his own people and flee everyone into his own land." Right. So because these heathens know that America's finished because everyone can see it. So these heathens, this is why people are getting out of America. They're going back to Europe. They're going back to China. They're going back to wherever, you know. They're going back to the Middle East, wherever. Because people know that, hey, America's through. They know. So people are getting out of America. That's what's happening right now. People are leaving America. People are leaving. People that can leave, they're leaving. You know. Uh, Hey, you know, and that's because people see what's going on. Like, damn, man, the taxes are high. You know what else is going on? You know, people know it, man. The dollar's collapsing. They see, America's going to shit. So people are like, hey, man, we're getting out of here. You can't even live here. Because you got people who make like a decent living, but they're still living in their cars. Because these houses are crazy. Expensive. Especially for someone who's like single, you know, you can't really afford it. And if you can't afford it, that it's your whole check, it's your whole income. You're not gonna have money for nothing, you know. You're just gonna be eating a can of beans every day. Imagine, just to what? Oh, just to say, oh, I got my own house. It's fucking stupid, huh? I know. I've heard that there's even like RNs, nurses out there. They're even living in their cars, and RNs make decent money. But that's how bad this place is becoming. Everyone that is found shall be thrust through. Because hey, though everyone that is found shall be thrust through. Meaning what? If you're on the soils of America and you're not part of the elect, you're out of there. Like for real. And everyone that is joined unto them shall fall by the sword. Okay, because there's gonna be a lot of remember, there's gonna be a race war coming, civil war, also World War III. Verse 16, their children also. Check this out. This is very important. This is put a little bit more fear on on you. Check it out. For you just to know. Check it out. Verse 16, their children. Okay, the children. Remember, don't forget about the children. The children also shall be dashed to pieces before their eyes. Because these soldiers don't care. They're going to kill children, everybody. Everybody. That's why once these civil war gets going, and people start killing each other's families right in front of them, oh, it's it. It's on, Imagine that person might cry and might be all, devastated, but after those tears are gone, they're going to want payback. There's going to be a whole lot of that going on. Imagine if someone were to come and slaughter your family in front of you. Yeah, some people may break down, but a lot of people are gonna be like, "Fuck that! I'm gonna kill these motherfuckers." Excuse my Italian. You imagine? So there's gonna be a whole lot of that going on all throughout America. You imagine? You gotta really consider that. Yeah, because it's gonna be a very sad time, a time of war. War is not pretty. Yep. People can laugh and play games, but once you see your family slaughtered in front of you, it's a total game changer, baby. So that's why we don't care when mockers mock. It's like, all right, that's fine, but you're mocking, at your own slaughter, and you're just, oh, whatever. I'm gonna hit up Starbucks. Fuck it, go for it. You don't give a. That's why when people mock, it don't even matter. Because their day is coming. So it's like, well, whatever. That's cool. It shouldn't even phase you at this point. Those of you that are learned, don't even worry about it. Don't even worry about it. They're not going anywhere. Their houses shall be spoiled, because spoiled. People are gonna still rob your houses everything, and their wives ravished. You know what that means? See? Yeah. You know? Yep. And there's a lot of single women out there that were in that Beyonce spirit. Oh yeah, I don't need a man, and it's mainly the black woman. The Southern Kingdom. Yep. It's mainly you guys out there talking shit, saying, "Oh, I don't need a man. You got it." But the UN troops are here. And, they're gonna have their way with you. You know? Yep. Oh yeah, it's gonna go down out here because there's a lot of women out here. All right, the wicked women that are independent. And not just because it just things didn't work out, but she's looking for a man. She's trying to be a good person. No, she's by herself because she's a total bitch. You know, she's like, well, I'm a boss bitch. You can't tell me shit. But that's totally fine because the Lord is preparing them to be slaughtered by these UN troops out here. Esau is gonna run through them. Yep. Imagine when civil war breaks out and you got all these women in these condos and houses by themselves. What do you think is gonna happen? You know, there it is. Remember, the Lord is a master at war. Because these wicked women think, oh yeah, we're getting away. We do whatever we want. Yeah, that's right, bitch. That's right, bitch. Okay, that's fine. But your ass ain't going nowhere. Remember, the Lord's a master at war. He had all you wicked women do that just for this time, just so you can be slaughtered and raped. Yup, the Lord ain't playing with none of y'all. Remember that the Lord is a master at war, and He's not mocked. Yep. Verse 17, behold, I will stir up the Medes against them, talking about the Russians. So the Lord is stirring up the Russians against them, America, which shall not regard silver, and as for gold, they shall not delight in it. Right. All right, because the Russians, it doesn't matter how good Trump's relations are with Putin. You're not going. Their mindset is to destroy America. So it doesn't matter what people. It doesn't matter what people try to do. Like they try to hey, just come to an agreement. Let's have a peace treaty. Nah, the Russians will come invade America and shoot missiles on America. Yep, sooner or later. All right. Verse 18, their bows also shall dash the young men to pieces, and they shall have no pity. Their bows, talking about the I.C.B.Ms, also shall be dashed to their bows also shall dash the young men to pieces, and they shall have no pity on the fruit of the womb. Huh? Yeah, they shall have no pity on the fruit of the womb, and their eyes shall not spare children. Right. Okay? All right. And their eyes shall not spare children. Right. Okay? Because they're not going to care about children, These I.C.B.Ms, Salaki, when they go off, they're not going to when they set out, they're not going to say, oh, that's children, let's go around them. No, when they are once they hit their mark, their destination, these I.C.B.Ms destroy everything in their path. Animals, children, old, young, men, women, and children. Whatever's in the perimeter. Verse 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 19, and Babylon, America, the glory of kingdoms, the beauty of the Chaldeans' excellency, because right here, this is where the Illuminati, the elites, America is their main cash cow, but it's their main stage. Because remember, everything that America does, it impacts or influences the rest of the world. Shall be as when the Most High Yahweh overthrew Sodom and Gomorrah. Because right, that's the scripture. So what happened to Sodom and Gomorrah? Okay, same thing's gonna happen to America. All right, same thing, same thing. So with that, that's it on today's lesson. All right, Lord willing, this was edifying and faith booster. Just to kind of bring some more, weight to your guys' understanding. Because if you're more rooted in this thing, if you're more grounded, you're not going to be as nervous. You're not going to be as timid. You know, we're in the flesh, so you're always going to have that little bit. Sometimes it's normal. You're going to get a little nervous at times. It happens. But that's why this word, it helps you. It sustains you because you got good roots. You got good foundation. You know, so when the wind blows, yeah, you're gonna rock from side to side, but you're not going nowhere because you got that foundation. You're like, nah, fuck that. I believe in the Lord. I don't care. Whatever happens, let it happen. It's the Lord's will. See? Because yeah, you're gonna have some good weeks, some bad weeks, some good days, some bad days, but at the end of the day, you're gonna get back on that path. We all have slip ups, we all have setbacks, but at the end of the day, you're gonna make the adjustments and you're gonna get back on the road. This is why the Lord tells us to keep our eyes single. Okay, stay on the path, just focus on the kingdom and the Lord. See? Because, you might get knocked down at times. We all do. Setbacks, slip ups, whatever. But, it may take you a couple days, well, or whatever it takes you. But the fact is, you're gonna get right with the Lord. See? You're gonna get right at the end of the day. See? So with that, that's it on today's lesson. Lord willing, you guys were edified and faith boosted. On your feet, soldier. Keep the faith. Shalom.